Hello, welcome back to Dear Source, your Ascendancy Hotline, where we tackle everything, everything in this world relationships, work, parenting, food, working out, you name it. Everything that we are experiencing is for our spiritual growth. And we are here to connect in with the wisdom of Source of when we have these human experiences that are designed to grow us, how do we see the spiritual lesson and the spiritual truth in what's actually occurring? So today I could not be more excited. I had a younger listener and viewer reach out. So I'm excited that we are reaching across all demographics and all ages. So the topic today says, Dear Source, I need some guidance. I'm a teenager with divorced parents, and their different approaches to life and parenting are really throwing me off, especially now that I'm starting to date. My mom is super spiritual and honestly pretty awesome. She trusts me to make my own decisions, let me figure things out on my own, and doesn't try to control my every move. If I mess up, she's there for me, but lets me face the consequences. I feel like she's creating space for me to grow and to learn on my terms. But my dad, he's the opposite. He's really strict and overprotected. And it feels like he's constantly judging me. I know he loves me, but his lack of trust makes me feel like I need to hide parts of my life, especially when it comes to dating. Sometimes it's easier to just tell him what he wants to hear or keep things to myself rather than dealing with his restrictions. I don't want to lie, but I don't want to feel trapped. How do I balance their opposite expectations, especially with dating? How can I find my own way in this while respecting both of them? Sincerely, a torn teen. So, thank you, a torn teen, for your beautiful letter. And I appreciate your candidness and authenticity and vulnerability about what's happening in your world. And I do think that there are a lot of spiritual lessons here. And it sounds like your mom is pretty tapped in and pretty connected. And one of the things I would offer that has really come through for me, especially in parenting, is this understanding. And I remember my shaman is actually the person that told me this, is that every soul, like you have birthed as a parent, as a mom, especially for moms, you've birthed a soul, and that soul is whole and complete. And yes, we're here to be a teacher, and yes, we're here to be a guide, but we're here, they're whole and complete. And God has each soul perfectly held where He wants them. And so, one of the things that I would offer, and it sounds like your mom is further down this path, is understanding that you are a whole and complete individual, and that you are a soul. You are going to go through all the lessons that your soul contracted in here to go through in this lifetime that parents can't control and cannot stop. And maybe part of the spiritual lesson is also from your dad, is that wanting to control that's creating a different dynamic for you on the lessons that you're intending to learn. So both parents are giving you great gifts when it comes to your growth and evolution. And again, what you contracted in for. It was by perfect design that you came in at the time that you did, to the parents that you were gifted, and you were gifted to them going through a divorce. Again, it's not a victimization. It's part of your soul's contract, part of your soul's evolution to navigate that and work through that. And what a beautiful, nuanced gift that you have two such divergent perspectives to learn from, and equally valuable, not one better than the other. One might feel a little bit more open and expansive because you can readily see and are given access to the lessons that you're meant to be learned, because it sounds like your mom's learned to hold that space for you to explore, uncover, unpack, not trying to control you, but getting you to tap into your true essence of who you are as a being, and to learn how to trust your intuition, in your internal GPS system to guide you, versus her controlling you or controlling what's going on. So, in that sense, she's gifting you this beautiful gift of expansion and tapping into your natural gifts and talents and intuitions as a human being to really feel into what is most authentic and important to you. Because those are going to be the lessons down the road, versus like, am I giving you an answer that you want to hear? What feels right to you? And we're here as human beings to fully stand in our truth, to fully be seen, and to know who we are and to stand in that. And when you think about your dad, who's giving you a different experience and a different perspective to grow and learn from, there's an opportunity to really stand in the truth of who you are, because you hit it on the head. You don't want to lie or be doing things that are deceitful. You want to truly step into the essence of who you are. And so I think there's a beautiful opportunity here to know what's really your truth, and then how do you express that so that you're not people pleasing. So the energy of, let's say, lying or not being truthful or hiding parts of yourself is to try to please somebody else. It's not out of, well, it's out of protection. Like, if I do this and nobody will know that, you want to be in the truest essence of who you are always, and to stand in that truth, and to understand, where are each of your parents coming from? How did they arrive at where they're at to parent and shepherd you along the way? So getting curious with both your mom and your dad of like, well, why are you like this? And how did you get to this place? And dad, how did you get like this? And why are you so worried about me? And I think having open discussion, around who you are and how do you access and gain their trust and what would make them feel comfortable, because parents do want to protect you. That's a natural instinct. I remember having my daughter, and the first moment I saw her, I learned what love was. I can't say until that present moment I knew love until they put her in my arms for the first time. And I just had this profound sense of overwhelming, like, how do I love this being so intensely? And I know nothing about her. I just met her, and all I want is for her to have a healthy, happy, perfect life. And that's most parents' natural instinct, is to want the very best for their children. And to know that you're safe and secure and no harm would come to you. And sadly, our world doesn't allow us to control all the things that can go on, can happen. And what I've learned is there's no amount of worry or control that I have that really is going to keep my child safe. What's really allowed me, and what I'd advocate for parents that are listening to this, is how do you step into that implicit knowingness of what the universe is, how the universe supports us, how the universe sees us, and allows for that expansiveness into the universe. Um, that's, I think, really what we came in here for, which I think is so incredibly profound, is every soul that we birth, and from the moment they come in here, they're whole and they're complete and they are perfect. And that they have come in here with all the soul lessons, all the things that they're supposed to learn, that as a parent, we aren't going to control or stop them from learning. So whether they will learn their lessons some other way. So are we giving our children space to really truly know and understand who they are? Are we giving them the tools to step into their internal knowingness, tap into their tuition, honor their tuition? We don't want them to be in energies of people pleasing, doing things to make other people feel comfortable, because that's selling their soul out and they're not honoring their truth of who they are. And we're teaching them to do other things to please other people, when the only thing that we are all here to do is to, in essence, please ourselves. And when we please ourselves, I don't mean you get to go out and do harm onto anybody else, because the first law we're here to honor is the law of one, the understanding of I am my brother and my brother is me, and I love my neighbor as myself, which means I do no harm. So if you have loving, kind children, they're going to, for the most part, do the right thing. Yes, are they going to have their ups and downs? Absolutely. Just like we had our ups and downs. Just, you're here to hold space to allow them to grow and to be the full reflection of themselves into the universe. That's the only role we have as parenting, is do we bring them back to the essence and the truth of who they are? And I think that's so profound. Is, am I just being a vessel and a light to allow my child to access the essence and the light of who they are? Am I showing them as a parent what it means to love my neighbor as I love myself? Am I showing them what it means to embody true authenticity of this is who I am and how I move in an authentic way in love throughout the world? That's what we come in for, is we're giving our children the energetic space to really find themselves, and they're learning from you. Oftentimes I think parenting is the most intense thing anybody can sign up for. And what I love about being a parent is they are my greatest teacher. They're often mirroring back into me areas where I really need to grow, and am probably am unconscious in the way that I'm interacting with them. And so as a teenager, you can look and go, am I being in my truth, and am I being my authentic self? And how do I help my parents understand and come along with that? Because you are, again, your parents' teachers. And I can almost guarantee that your parent, probably your dad, probably went through something very similar. So we like to also repeat the pattern as a parent now with our child, because we didn't learn the lesson as the teenager of, was I really standing in my truth? Was I being honest? Was I being authentic? Or was I doing stuff to sneak out of the house or be dishonest? And you have to remember, and I've learned this, is a lot of time the karma I've received in parenting is because of the way that I acted with my parents. It's just gotten mirrored back to me. And I think there's that opportunity as a parent to atone and go, oh, okay, I atone for that when I was a teenager, that being wrong. I forgive myself for that. That's been made conscious. There is light there now, and now I can move past that. So I would just share with you, torn teen, like, tune in and to who you are, and to make sure that you fully express that. Do not get in the energy of lying. Do not get in the energy of being dishonest, because you're just going to get lying and dishonesty back. And not necessarily from your parent, but you will get it back in the world. I mean, again, we are here to learn and here to grow as spiritual beings. So you will get your karma back if you are not in your truth and living from your truth. So it's better to, I think, have that conversation and not allow your emotions to run wild, but to understand, like, help me understand, dad, or help me understand, mom, why you don't like this. What could we do that would make you feel comfortable for this? Or whatever the conversation is. Like, get curious, ask questions, have them be seen as a parent, of being a parent, just like you want to be seen as a teenager. So do you see your parents and not act like they're clueless and dismissive and they have no idea what it's like to be in your shoes? They kind of do and they kind of don't, because we evolve and change societally. But for the most part, they are understanding. They've gone through something. They're also gifting you the wisdom of what they went through, so that you maybe can subvert that heartache and lesson, although that doesn't even really happen because the universe already has it perfectly orchestrated. So there's nothing, even as parents, you're going to do that is going to keep your child from heartbreak or disappointment or any of those things, because they are here having a human experience and they're going to go through all that. You're not going to keep them from that. And you may think you're protecting your child, but they're going to get the lessons that they need down the road at the right time. And you just have to implicitly trust that. So, torn teen, be who you are. Step into your authenticity, and remember, you have to do it in a loving, kind way if you want to get loving kindness back from your parents. Get curious, ask them questions, try to understand where they're coming from so that you can have a conversation. You're honoring your truth and you're not doing things that sounds like you don't want to be doing, lying or deceiving your parent. So know that you are a whole human being and that you came in here for that, and that you're here to learn all the lessons you're meant to learn, and that your parents are just two of your teachers for your soul growth. So how you choose to engage, how you choose to interact, how you choose to interrelate is part of your soul growth. And so remember, if you treat them with love, you're going to get love back. So I know that I hope that was helpful. If it's not, please reach out. Know that anyone who is listening can book on my calendar. We can talk about issues like this, to work, to relationships, you name it. I am here as a channel of source to get you connected with your highest self and for us to realign into who we are. And to be the highest and fullest expression of ourselves as a human being on the planet at this time. So make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe, all the things. Share this with who needs to hear this. Put this into the ethers to teenagers, parents, you name it. Coming soon in 2025, I'm working on building a spiritual community where we get to come in here and have these conversations and talk through them in a real life experience. So lots more to come on that. I can't wait to unveil the details of that community, but we would love to have all ages, all walks of life joining us on this journey we called humanity on our spiritual growth path, and to know that we're not walking it alone. And so until tomorrow, when I'm back on, please just honor the process, love your truth, find your truth, stand in your truth, and stay connected to source. So until tomorrow, have a great day.